Hello everyone, welcome back. Please comment, rate, subscribe, guys. Comment, rate, subscribe, like the videos. Also share the videos. I want to thank everyone that does like, watching, and share my videos. You folks are the absolute best. Listen folks, there's a link tree down below. It has the link to all of my social media. Please go down there and follow me across my social media platforms. Also, there's links down there as well to my YouTube pages. Please go down there, subscribe to my YouTube pages, turn on your notifications so when I post content, you folks will be in the know. So with that said and done, all right, and put to the side, I have come to talk to you folks today about the New York Jets offensive line issues and how we can utilize free agency just a little bit to upgrade it and make us a bit better going into the next season. So I'm not going to talk about every single offensive lineman that we have, okay? That would take a lot of time. But I'm just going to mention, our starters and how we can improve there. So, man, it feels good to be back. I cannot wait. So I'm going to start with our starting players that we have currently on the roster. Start with our left tackle, Mckay Beckton, phenomenal, okay? The kid's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Big, physical, great run blocker, very solid in the pass game as well. This kid was everything that we hoped and more when we drafted him. Man, he just gets it. Like, there were so many games where we were just looking at this line and we were like, man, this line is terrible. But Mckay was amazing. There were so many games like that. And there were also games where he would miss. And we saw that the offensive line just looked like it just scratch. Like it just would fall apart. So I love Mckay Beckton, love what he brings to the table. The kid just gets it. He understands the environment here. He loves the Jets. He loves New York, loves the fan base. He was phenomenal. He did get worked on that Pro Bowl stuff, though. I will say that. I'm not going to go off about it. I'm not. You know what I'm saying? I don't want people from other fan bases going, you're just salty. No, I'm not. I'm telling you, he should have been a Pro Bowler, and he got gypped out of that. But it is what it is. So Mckay Beckton, left tackle, for me, is secured. I know a lot of Jets fans look at him as well, and they do talk about that injury stuff. I mentioned it a little bit. The shoulder hampered him for some games. He missed some time this season. There was also games where he played in, but he missed significant time within the game because he came out because of shoulder issue. The Broncos game was like that. But, look, he'll get that cleaned up. I think he'll be fine. Going forward, I have, nothing but all my faith behind him to continue to grow, mature, and get better as a left tackle because he's already phenomenal. So, moving forward, I'm not concerned about our left tackle position. Our guard position, left and right guard. Lewis and Van Roten, those guys are terrible, okay? We need to move on from them. I'm not pulling no punches. We need to move on from them, especially Van Roten. Gotta go. Get him out of here as soon as possible. I can't do it. I cannot do it. I do not want to see us go into this upcoming season with a lot of the same issues up front that we had last season. If you watch the games this year, whoa! You want to talk about pressure? It was coming straight from the interior. We couldn't block anybody. There was so many of the issues that we had offensively. Outside of the lack of weapons and the horrific play calling that came this season, the pressure from the interior had Sam running for his life. Our running game just couldn't get together. So we've got to move on from those guys. And I look at this situation, and I say to myself, if you cut Lewis, you get yourself $5.1 million back. If you get rid of Van Roten, you get yourself $3.4 million back. You can go into free agency and look with a guard with something like that. You can. So my plan, when I look at that situation, I say to myself, two bad guards. You got Connor McGovern, who we signed. I like him, but he was kind of up and down as well this year as a center. But he's a guy that does play, both of those positions, center and guard. It's kind of what we brought him in here to do. He was up and down in the center. Let's slide Connor McGovern to a guard position and maybe go after a guy like Corey Lindsey. Why not do something like that? That's something that we can look at. That's an option for us, especially with the cash that we would have back. But I do not want to see either of those guys back. I really don't. I really, really don't. We need to move forward, move on, and get better. We cannot continue to have just this line implode the way it was there. Again, Connor McGovern, I think, was very up and down this season. But if you move him, then I think he'll, get a bit better. But even if you want to keep him at that center position, you have to get better guards around him. Now, I look at this situation at guard and I say to myself, hey, Cameron Clark, when are we going to see him? Is anybody wondering, when he's going to be on the field at some point. We drafted the guy in the last draft, same draft we drafted Mims and Beckton and Ashton Davis. You know what I'm saying? Like, when are we going to see this kid? Maybe he's the answer for us at guard. Maybe he's a guy that can step in and really put things together and, you know, better this offensive line. You know, again, this is a Joe Douglas, you know, draft pick. I want to see him at some point and see what he has. So he's a big question mark as well going in to next season, going into this offseason. Not saying that we'll cut him or anything like that, but just saying the impact that he could possibly provide. What can he bring to the table at some point? Is he the guy that could better our line? Is he the young kid that we could stick out there at guard that's gonna, you know, excel and do better? Pat Elflein, I know a lot of people liked him as well. He was brought in as a free agent. We signed him, you know, because we had so many issues up front. The line was just shuffling. He was put in. Now listen, Pat Elflein, I think he did a decent job. There were some games where he was very spotty as well. I do not necessarily want to see Pat Elflein come back and be a starter. Don't want to see that. Again, I want us to upgrade. I want us to get good, okay? Pat Elflein came in. He did struggle. He had some rough games, but he did have some decent games down the stretch late in the season. I do not fall in love with players that have decent games down the stretch late in the season that come off of free agency, that have been in the league for a while, and we've, you know, kind of seen what they are. Would I like to have him back on a small deal as a backup? Yeah, let's do it. I have no issues with that whatsoever. Do I want to see us give him, you know, a deal, you know, that's solid, but he's going to come in and immediately be our starter? No, I want to see us upgrade. So Pat Elflein, I'd like to see brought back as a backup, not as a guy that, you know, is a starter. So then you look at free agency. I talked to you folks about Corey Lindsey. I really like us to, you know, go after him, you know, possibly put him in that center position. But let me tell you something. My number one free agent, okay, for this offensive line, my number one free agent, period, okay, the guy that I want the most this year in free agency is Joe Thuney. It's Joe Thuney. I've got to have this guy, okay? The Jets must have this guy. We must do what it takes. I don't want to get, you know, super crazy, but I definitely want to pay him what it takes to get him here. And I think that, let me tell you something. We bring Joe Thuney in here, whoo, this offensive line takes a step up. Okay, this offensive line takes a step up, okay, at guard. You know, you look at the situation, even if we keep Fant there at right tackle, which I'm not necessarily against, it's not my favorite move, but even if we keep him there at right tackle, if you have, you know, if you bring in Lindsey as well, if you have, you know, you slide Connor McGovern to guard, you got Lindsey at center, you got Joe Thuney, dude, you'll be okay. Okay, everything will be okay. I'm not upset at that move. We can keep Fant if you want to keep Fant, fine, but we must upgrade the interior. Another option for us as well, I know people look at the situation at right tackle, some Jets fans, you know, and they say, hey, the Jets are at 2. Sewell could be there. I know that there's some Jets fans that want to take him at 2. You know, I wouldn't necessarily be against that either. I know a lot of people look at him and talk about him being a generational right tackle and talk about the impact that he could provide on this line. So that's an option for us as well. But again, I think better in our interior must be done immediately. And there again, with Corey Lindsey and Joe Thuney could be guys that could immediately upgrade us right there at our guard and center position. So please comment down below. Let me know what you folks think. Let me know how you feel. What are your thoughts about the Jets possibly taking Sewell at 2 to kind of replace, you know, Fant at right tackle? What are your thoughts about Thuney and Corey Lindsey sliding Connor McGovern to center? How do you feel about that? Let me know. Comment down below and let me know. So you folks have a good one. Peace.